Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, children. Today we are going to discuss about our ancient civilization. And yesterday we discussed about Egyptian civilization. Today we are going to discuss about Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamia, it refers to it is a region that is located it is a region of Iraq and Kuwait in West Asia, and several kingdoms emerged around that city-states in the 3rd millennium BC. So among them the Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian and Assyrian civilizations flourished in Mesopotamia. So if we see the location, if we take that word Mesopotamia, it is divided into two, that is Meso and Potamus. So in Greek language, the word Meso means in between, that is situated in between two rivers, and Potamus means river. As this region is located between two rivers called Euphrates and Tigris, it got its name as Mesopotamia. And the northern part of Mesopotamia, it is known as Syria, and the southern part is called Babylonia. And first we are going to discuss about the Sumerians. So Sumerians was the oldest civilization in Mesopotamia, and actually they were the combination of the people, those who belong to the Indus Valley civilization and the Egyptian civilization. And they started to settle near the river valley of the Tigris, and they founded many cities there, and one of the important city was Nippur, and they only developed the writing system called cuneiform. And if you take Sumerians, during the early phase of the Sumerian civilization, kings only acted as the chief priests in the temples, and their political domination, it came to an end in 2450 BC. The next group is called Akkadians, and they dominated Sumeria from 2450 to 2250 BCE. So Sargon, he was one of the famous ruler, and the Sargon and his followers, they were ruling Mesopotamia for more than 100 years. And we have some documents regarding this. And in this map you can see Dilmun, Magan and Meluha. These are the important places located in the Akkad region. And next we are going to discuss about the Babylonians. The Babylonians are Semitic people. Semitic means Afro-Arabic people. They were called Amorites. Actually they moved from the Arabian desert and they moved into Mesopotamia. They were called so because they established cities, and they took Babylon as their capital. So they were called so. Hammurabi, he was a famous king of the Babylonian kingdom, and he extended his domination. He extended his territories to many parts of Mesopotamia. Our next civilization is the Assyrians. So this Assyrian empire, it was very politically it was very active in Mesopotamia around 1000 BCE, and the Assyrian government was controlled by the king. Actually the Assyrian kings were the priests of the temple, and the Assyrian government was controlled by the emperor, I said, and it was been divided into various provinces, and governors will be appointed to take care of each provinces. Assur, it was the name of the capital city of Assyria, and they worshipped god called Lamassu. Actually this Lamassu is considered as the god for protection. In this picture you can see the picture of Lamassu god. Now society, state and administration of these civilizations we are going to discuss. The Sumerian civilization had many city-states. They established many states. A part of Sumerian states were surrounded by cultivable lands, and the fortified Sumerian cities. It had temples called ziggurats at its center. You can see in this picture ziggurat, isn't it? So it is different in architecture, right? So ziggurat is the name of the temple where they worshipped, and it mostly these ziggurats are located in the center of the Sumerian cities. Now administration, we can priests, scribes and nobles were part of the government. These three groups only, they played a very important role in the administration of the state. So the rulers and priests occupied the top of the social hierarchy. Different grades of officers will be there. If you take any department now also, we have different grades of people who in administration level, isn't it? So in the same way, the rulers and priests were occupied the top high grade in the society, and the ruler performed the role of the chief priest. So he is considered as the chief priest. All the powers will be in the hands of the chief, and the temples acted as a storehouses for storing the production, and cultivable lands, mostly it will be owned by the kings. Kings will be owning the cultivable lands, and some higher class people, those who are rich, see, they also own some parts of the lands. And the peasant who remained in the temples, in the earlier phase they remained in the temples, but afterwards they were relieved from the temples in the later period, and only few group of people were allowed to live in the cities. Now food and agriculture. Agriculture was the main occupation of the Mesopotamians, and they have developed irrigation system. Irrigation system means providing water for cultivation. So through the irrigation system, they ensured availability of water to the cultivable lands, and they cultivated various crops like wheat, barley, onions, turnips, grapes, apples and dates. These were all the main crops cultivated by them. And even they domesticated cattle like sheep and goats. And fish, it was their important food, one of the important food for their diet. Now trade and exchange. Trade was an important activity of the Mesopotamian society. Equal importance were given for the agriculture as well as in trading. So they traded with places called Syria, Asia Minor and Iran and the Indus Valley. They used to travel from one place to another place for trading purposes, and they traveled in ship across the seas for trading purposes. And their temples they acted as banks to lend credit. Okay, and Mesopotamian civilization, it had some written documents in which we can know the information that they have given loans for interest. Sometimes they lend the money without interest also they lend the money. For these activities we have written evidence, and actually it is the first written evidence of charging an interest on borrowed money. Cities and town planning. The Mesopotamian cities, most of the buildings were made of mud and baked brick walls, and they had gates also. Some people, as usual poor people, they lived in thatched huts outside the cities. In previous paragraph I told you only a group of people will be allowed to live in the cities. So these people, those who are living in the huts, they were living outside the cities. Ziggurats were located at the city center. You can see in this picture steep pyramids. It is built in a different style, isn't it? So steep, it looks like steep pyramids with staircases. It has staircases to reach the top of that ziggurat. Next one, religion. Sumerian religion was polytheistic. Polytheistic means they worship more than one god. And the Sumerians, they prayed to Enlil. Enlil was considered as the god of sky and wind. And Nippur, it was one of the important city established by the Sumerians, and they prayed a god called Enlil, and they had a famous temple for Enlil god in the Nippur. And Ninlil was the name of the god, and it was considered as the goddess for grain. And the Babylonians, they worshipped Marduk. Name of the god was Marduk. And Ashur, he was the supreme was the supreme god of the Assyrians. And many other gods like Ishtar. Ishtar was considered as the goddess of love and fertility. Tiamat was considered as the god of sea. And apart from that, the kings who are the representatives of the people, they were considered as the representatives of the gods by the people. And they had a rich collection of many imaginary stories and all. Next one, Hammurabi's law code. Nowadays we have our own constitution, isn't it? So in various articles will be there that all the citizens of the people have to follow. See, in those days the Hammurabi's law code, it was considered as an important law document, and which contains various laws related to various crimes like family rights, trade, slavery, taxes, wages. To overcome these issues, they had 282 provisions, and it was a compilation of old laws based on retributive principles. So for tit for tat, you would have heard the proverb, isn't it? Tooth for tooth, eye for eye. So their laws were framed based on that principles. Now art. So this Mesopotamian art included, they carve sculptures in stone as well as in clay, and their sculptures, it contains pictures of animals such as goats, rams, bulls and lions. And massive sculptures were created during the period of Assyrians and the Babylonian empires. And in this picture you can see a clay tablet with accounts of, in this you can see the portraits of sheep, goats and all. Now science. The Mesopotamian people, they were very excelled in mathematics, astronomy and medicine. And we all are very familiar with the 60 concept, isn't it? For example, if you take 60 seconds make a minute or 60 minutes make an hour, these are all the concepts, gifts given by the Mesopotamians to us. And 360 degree, about the circles, when you learn about circles, it is said that it has 360 degrees, isn't it? And it was also the gift of the Mesopotamians. And they created the water clock and the lunar calendar. They contributed based on the movement of the moon. They framed that calendar, and also they developed the concepts for measuring areas and solids. Okay children, we were discussing about various civilizations. In that today we discussed about the Mesopotamian civilization. Now what are the contributions of the Mesopotamian civilization is Potter's wheel. It was credit to the Sumerians, and they developed the calendar system which contains 360 days and divided a circle into 360 units. And a cuneiform system of writing, it was their contribution. And we discussed about the Hammurabi's law code. It was a legal document of the Mesopotamians. Okay children, thank you.